Many would say that you have to be fearless to run your own business. Don't lose that confidence when it comes to setting up and maintaining your network. Even if you have no technology experience, just start with the basics. One of the first things you should learn is how to access your hardware directly. In this episode of Cisco Tech Talk, I'll show you how to log into the Web User Interface (UI) of Cisco Business Devices. To start, you need your computer physically connected to your Cisco Business device. Using an Ethernet cable, I've connected the Ethernet port on my laptop to the Ethernet port on the Cisco Business switch. It's important that your computer's Ethernet adapter has an IP address from the same IP subnet as the Cisco Business device that's connected. Normally, Cisco Business devices have a default IP address from the 192.168.1.0/24 IP subnet. CBS switches have a default IP address of 192.168.1.254. Cisco RV series routers have a default IP address of 192.168.1.1. To check the IP address assigned to your system, open a command prompt, type ipconfig, and press enter. In this example, my system Ethernet adapter is configured with one IP address, 192.168.1.90. This is in the correct subnet. To verify the reachability of the switch, I'll ping its IP address, 192.168.1.254. I'm getting responses, so there's connectivity. Great. Everything is ready for access to the web UI of the switch. To do this, open a web browser. I'll use Firefox. Type the IP address of the switch and press enter. By default, the browser will try to access the switch via HTTP. To access the switch via HTTPS, click on the Secure Browsing HTTPS button. You may get a warning message that shows a potential security risk ahead. Click on Advanced to see more details about that warning. It's showing that 192.168.1.254 uses an invalid security certificate. The certificate is not trusted because it is self-signed. By default, Cisco Business devices have a self-signed certificate installed. In this case, the browser is not trusting that certificate. There are two options to fix this warning. The first is to add an exception on this browser to bypass the certificate warning. To add an exception on the browser to bypass this warning, navigate to Settings and type Certificate in the search box. Now select View Certificates. On the Certificate Manager window, make sure that Servers is selected. Click on the Add Exception option. In the Location box, enter https:// and the IP address of the switch, 192.168.1.254. Select Get Certificate and the Confirm Security Exception option. It's showing the lifetime of that exception as permanent. Leave that as it stands and click OK. Close the browser, reopen it, and type in the IP address of the switch. Press the Enter button. Again, the browser tries to connect the switch via HTTP. Select Secure Browsing HTTPS. Since you already added the exception on this browser to access the switch IP via HTTPS, you should no longer get that certificate error. Enter the username and password and click Login to access the switch. The second option to eliminate the certificate warning is to obtain and install a root certificate in this system. The required certificate needs to be installed on the Cisco Business device. This is done using its web UI. In this example, I've connected to my Cisco Business Wireless CBW setup via my wireless adapter. You can see the IP address of the wireless interface by using the ipconfig command. It's showing the private IP address configured on my wireless LAN adapter. My CBW setup is configured in that IP pool. To access the CBW web UI, open a browser. I'll use Microsoft Edge. Type the URL https://ciscobusiness.cisco and press enter. Via this URL, I can access my CBW access point. I have one installed certificate on the CBW device, as well as one root certificate on my computer. That's the reason I'm not getting a certificate warning when I access my CBW deployment. I can see the connection is secure from a notification on the browser. Click the lock icon on the address bar. Now you can click on the login button, enter the username and password configured on your CBW setup, and click Sign In. Now you can access the CBW Web UI. Once you're logged into the Web UI of a device, you can do configurations or make changes as needed. You are in control. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.